Hi everyone and welcome back to First Draft, the series where I give you my first draft of an upcoming deck coming out in an upcoming set. In today's episode we've got a bit of a different one. We tend to go for like more archetypal ones, but in this case we're actually just playing with a whole theme. And in this episode that theme is going to be Rookie Rush / Anti-Rookie. This strategy has come up a little bit recently in BT14 and now in BT15 I think we're getting some additional toys that can help us with this deck. Now it's safe to say that this deck, some people like it, some people dislike it, but the main theme of this deck is disruption, and we play a lot of disruptive rookies to slow our opponent down while we essentially build a board that they cannot deal with. Along with those tools, we also use tamers and option cards that also slow down your opponent or get you more advantage. So let's get into the deck profile. So the deck profile is going to be a little bit different because a lot of these cards do similar things essentially, but we'll go over all of them as we go along. So we're going to start with the eggs, and we're playing 4 Koromon from BT14. This egg is actually really good. Let's talk about it real quick. Once per turn, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, draw 1. So essentially, every time that you do a security check, you'll be able to draw 1 card because the Digimon doesn't get deleted at the security check. It gets deleted after the security check happens. So essentially, this is a draw 1. And you can also stack this because if you have multiple of these guys out, which is going to be quite easy with a certain card we'll get into in a bit, you'll be able to draw like 2 or 3 cards in a given turn. So for that reason, you play this at 4. Now we are playing a certain rookie, so we do play a 5th egg in this deck, and that is the Demi-Meramon. It has 1 attacking. When this Digimon attacks a player, it gains 1k DP for the turn. This is essentially the best out of a bad bunch. There aren't very good red eggs as a whole, so we just play this one to fill out the egg deck because we're going to need 5 eggs in this deck. So the first cards that I want to go over are the stop memory gain cards. So in this case we play 2 Chumon, we play 2 Terriermon, and then we also play 2 Modoki Betamon. Essentially, red doesn't have an inbuilt can't gain memory except from tamer effects Digimon, so we have to play a mix of these guys. And the reason why we lower the numbers overall is because we don't want to, have it, and we can't Digivolve on top of the egg for it, unfortunately. So we just have to hard play these guys when we can. So we play 6 of these rookies because the disruption effect is quite important, especially as there are still some memory boosts going around. A lot of Digimon gain memory from effects, so yeah, we do play 6 of these in total in the deck. We then get on to the other disruption rookie, which is the can't reduce play cost one. So in this case, we play 2 Chikirimon, and we also play 4 Solomon. So Solomon is the red variant here that we're going to be playing max of because this is the one that allows us, we can go on our egg essentially, and we need that. So it's just a simple effect. Players can't reduce play costs. As you might guess, a lot of things reduce play costs now. Stuff like Digicross was one of the bigger ones, but now it's also helped in other effects as well. So yeah, we do have to play 6 of these in total, so we do a 4-2 split on these rookies. The next one here also is can't play Digimon by effects, and we also have 4 of these are red and the rest are a different color. So we play 4 Gotsumon from BT14, a huge buff for the deck. One of the reasons why this deck actually got a lot bit better in my opinion, just due to the fact that we actually had another red rookie that we could play in this deck. But we also do play 2 of the Pomimons for the exact same reason. Just that disruption is very important, and yeah, we need to play 6 of them in total, so we do a 4-2 split. And the final disruptive rookie that we play in this deck is the Digivolution cost reduction. So in this case we play 4 Gaussmon, and we also play 2 Cutemon. Again, it is that 4-2 split. As we have stuff in red, we're able to Digivolve on top of that, and we desperately need that in this deck, so we do a 4-2 split with the Gauss and the Cutemon. So for a brand new card that we play in this deck, it is the BT15 Muchomon. It has the effect of your turn, once per turn, when your red Digimon attacks a player, draw 1 card. One of the issues that this deck has quite a bit of is the fact that it lacks a lot of draw, and unfortunately there isn't really an easy way to deal with this. Obviously we played the Koromon that helps us with draw, but the Muchomon also helps us quite a bit as well. It also just means the red ones are also going to be attacking most of the time, so yeah, the majority majority of the deck is obviously red. There are obviously rookies in this deck that aren't red, so it doesn't synergize well with that, but for the most part, you're just really looking for draw cards in the deck, and Muchomon is that, and we play it at 4. And a card that I don't think people are expecting to see play in this deck, but I actually kind of like it, is the promo Huckmon from that pack long ago. I can't believe they were hyped and we didn't really get them in time, but it has the security effect of, at the end of the battle, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4k DP or less. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, draw 1 card, and then add this card to the owner's hand. The security effect is obviously very powerful. Getting rid of a 4k DP guy is pretty much enough for a level 3 and sometimes a level 4, but also if it doesn't delete anything, you just get to draw 1 card and also add the Huckmon to your hand as well. This means we're just able to get another rookie on the following turn if we need it, but also just get an additional draw or just deleting a guy. Pretty good utility in my opinion. Unfortunately, there isn't any way to get it in the security. You have to kind of get lucky, unfortunately. But I think either way, it's still a pretty good upside for the deck, and I play it at 4 in my version. So that's pretty much all the rookies except for one, and it's obviously the one that makes the deck tick. It is the promo Ukomon. It has the your turn once per turn effect. When one of your Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area, you may hatch an egg in that breeding area and then gain 1 memory. This card obviously speeds up your game plan entirely. This just essentially means that, you know, when you push this guy up, because it counts for itself as well, you just gain an additional memory for free. In combination with its tamer, you're able to get a lot of advantage going on. And this is one of the reasons why we need the extra egg in our deck, because we're going to get through it pretty much every game. And Ukomons can be the reason why you do it. And if you combine these all together, if you like multiple on the field, you're able to gain a lot of memory very quickly. So yeah, you play 4 Ukomon in this deck. Getting on to options now, and we have 3 Magmamon. The top text doesn't matter as much, just means you would get to reduce it if you had a red tamer in play, but the main effect is delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP, and then the security effect is the same. We play this because it is just a pretty cheap piece of removal for the deck. There are other options you could potentially be playing, but I think for the majority of the deck that you're trying to get for, just deleting 1 guy is good enough, so we play it at 3. Trident Gaia is our big deletion target. It allows us to delete a Digimon with the highest DP, and if the Digimon has 13k DP or more, you also get to trash the top card of your security. This just means you're able to get a little bit of advantage by, you know, deleting a big guy, but also, you know, just deleting a big guy is pretty good as a whole. So yeah, it's got very good utility. Obviously it does cost quite a bit, but hopefully with the memory you're gaining on your turn, you'll be able to reduce this quite a bit. So yeah, you play it at 2. It is your, I guess, big target removal of the deck. Finally, the last option card is Atomic Blaster. It has the main effect of choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 8k DP or less and delete them. This is really good when your opponents like swarm in the field with a bunch of rookies, so stuff like Digipolice is currently doing that, and a lot of other decks are going to be doing that as well in the upcoming format, so you play 2 of it in the deck. Going on to Tamers, we have 3 Digimon Emperor. This card is, I think, kind of underrated at this point. It has all turns effect. When one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer to draw 1 card. And then opponent's turn, when one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon is moved from the breeding area to their battle area, you gain 2 memory. Essentially, a lot of the meta cards in the format have a rookie that has a start of main phase effect. And so what this card essentially does, it limits their turn at the start. So stuff like, you know, the Ryudamon that's coming out in BT15, Patamon, you know, Lugamon, all those cards that have start and main phase effects, they've become a little bit more nullified at the start of the game, just because you're gaining that 2 memory. So I play 3 of it in my version of the deck. And then finally, we have the, I guess, archetypal tamer. It is the Louis promo card, and this has 2 effects. On play, you may move one of your level 3 or higher Digimon from the breeding area to the battle area, and then your turn, when one of your Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area, by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. This in combination with the Ukomon just essentially means move the Ukomon up, gain 2 memory, hatch another egg, and get going again. And for that reason, it is incredibly strong when you can combine these together. And you know, if you have loads of Louis and Ukomons out already in play, you can potentially get up to like 2 to 4 memory per turn, and for that reason you have to play this at 4. So for future cards you could be adding in this deck, there is only really one in my opinion, and that is the Ukomon from BT15. This card does pretty decent for the deck. It's a searcher, and it's not just any searcher, it's a generic search of the deck. So similar to the other Ukomon, your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area, reveal the top 3 cards of the deck, add 1 Digimon card or Tamer card among them to your hand, place the rest at the bottom of the deck, and then you may hatch an egg in your breeding area. This searchability, this functionality in the deck is also important. We don't have any search in the deck. You're pretty much just drawing all the cards you can. And for that reason, Ukomon kind of stands out quite a bit. There is a little bit of a downside. It does cost 1 to Digivolve into, but I think even the Digivolve on like an opening turn, I think it's kind of insane. So definitely a card you want to be looking at for the future. So what are some alternative options that you could be adding to your deck? Well, here are some that I thought might be somewhat useful for you guys. The first one is another security. The security promos actually end up being pretty good for this deck. It just depends on if you want to run them or not, essentially. Bluekomon, security, at the end of the battle, draw 2 cards and then add it to your hand. Just the draw 2, it's pretty nice, and sometimes it's hard to draw cards in this deck. Even if we have all this advantage essentially. So Blueko you could definitely consider for your strategy. Biomon is another red Digimon that you could be playing. It has an on deletion, if it's your turn, gain 1 memory. This is just another card that you could have lots of resources with. You're not only gaining memory from the Louis and the Uko, but you're also going to potentially gain memory from the Bio. I kind of prefer having the Huckmon, but I can completely understand if you want to go with the Biomon. It's just not in my version of the list. Another draw card that you could potentially be playing is the Gilmon. I don't have the egg here, but in combination with the egg, you can get a draw 2 when attacking, and that is important, I guess. But unfortunately, I think I would rather just build it around more generic red level 3s than just this one, and I don't want to be pigeonholed into using the GGmon, I believe it is, for the Gilmon. So yeah, I would not play this in my build. Pulsemon is another rookie that has some good utility. On play, if you have 3 or more security, draw 1. If you have 3 or fewer security, gain a memory. Ideally, this is going to be a 2-cost rookie that also draws you a card. And that's good, obviously. That is obviously very strong, but it's an on-play. I'd rather have stacking effects with the Mucho and the Koromons, and it's also a yellow, not a red. So yeah, I don't play in my version, but you can definitely consider it for yours. Another rookie you could potentially play is another security one. It's the Harrismon. This allows you to give one of your opponent's security attack -1 and then add this card to your hand. The security attack -1 actually does matter sometimes because you don't want to get like essentially trounced on, and this card helps avoid that, in my opinion. But again, it is just that awkward part of being a yellow card. You can't really interact with the security, unfortunately. So there are some obviously downsides to this card, so I don't play in my version. And then obviously the big standout is going to be the DefXmon. DefXmon just does pretty much everything that this deck needs. It's a big boss monster. It gets rid of a huge chunk of the field. The reason why I haven't put it in my deck list is because I want to showcase a more, I guess, budget-friendly version. But if you do have this card, I definitely would recommend playing this card. It obviously is a game changer in the strategy, and yeah, that's all you can really say about DefXmon. But that is my first draft on Rookie Rush / anti-rookie. What do you think about the deck? Do you think the deck has legs? Do you think it's going to make an impact in our meta, our BT15 meta? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.